How do I develop self-discipline and stop abandoning healthy habits?
Ooh, good question.
I feel like it should be just as easy as, well, just do it. But I'm 35 years old and haven't been able to just do it yet. So,
oh man, tell me what you have tried that hasn't worked.
I've read as many books out there as I can think of, and I tend to be a reader and then have a really hard time implementing things. Even just things like drinking water every day, or exercise, or budgeting, or anything that requires consistency in life to create a healthy life.
So I'm going to give you a crazy a thing here. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've entered into a world where, and if you go back and listen to my show over the last few years, I've been hyper intentional about it. And it's one of those things that I'm hoping people will go, oh, like in 10 years. Okay. So I'm giving you the secret right now.
All right.
I think we have all reached information overload.
Yes.
We don't need to read a lot more new books. I'm going to write a book on marriage, I think, so everyone needs to buy that book later on when it comes out. But other than that, I think we got the info.
Yep. And I've heard you say that. That's why I even mentioned it, is because I've heard you say that. And
so that's why this show is about real people. Okay, so number one, you have to stop. You have to stop looking at certain behaviors as productive behaviors, and you have to look at them for what they are. They are numbing and avoidant behaviors. Some people smoke weed. You read books.
For sure.
Some people look at pornography. You listen to podcasts.
Yep.
Okay. So all of it is a way to keep space from actually dealing with the hardest part of habit building, which is identity. What is the story I'm telling about myself? And I think the stories you tell yourself are that you're not very good at a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I think I'm really good at a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But yes, I'm not good at other stuff.
What are they? What are the books you keep reading, trying to quote unquote fix? Except for my books, obviously, because they're amazing.
I've read your books. I've read, a lot of the big ones out there, like Atomic Habits, and that one about hurt, the relentless, the one about stopping hurrying. And
John Mark Comer's book. Yeah. Excellent book.
Yeah.
The Ruthless
really
Elimination of Hurry. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Ruthless. Really good books. I want.
If you could snap your fingers, what behavior would you change in your life?
Exercise.
Okay.
Being a person who keeps my body healthy.
Okay. What does not keeping your body healthy get you?
Less mental load, less things on my plate.
Okay.
It's just another thing to think about, another thing to do when there's already so many things to think about and do.
Okay. How do you move it from your chore list to your want list?
I know it's an identity change.
Mm-hmm. But beneath identity is the self-worth. Why don't you think you're worth an hour every day just to feel good? And why have you outsourced how you feel to a number on a scale, or a pant size, or a number of hours in a gym?
I don't think I do, Dr. John.
Okay.
I really, because I've sat with that question. I've listened to everything you've said, because
you're like, I listen to lots of podcasts.
Because I listen to podcasts, and I could be wrong. Maybe if we dig deeper, but I I do believe I'm worthy of being well. I love myself.
Awesome.
I think I'm a great person.
Good. Hey, high five to you. Nobody calls my show and says that. That's awesome. Okay, great. So how can I help? Where are you stuck? What precipitated this call right now? What habits did you abandon that you're like, gosh, again?
The thing that precipitated this call is I was reading back through journals and from my life, and I have a whole lot of Januaries that are well documented in my life.
My wife's favorite person on the planet is January John. She loves that guy. She loves him. She says he's the best guy who's ever lived. One time, January John made it all the way to April. It was amazing.
Yep. So yeah, I would look at the different things I was stuck on when I was 20, and they're the exact same things I'm stuck on now. The same things that I want to develop in my life when I was 20 are the same things now. And there's just a whole lot of Januaries that talk a lot about that.
Okay.
And I don't know. I worked really hard in the last few years on my mental health and anxiety. That's required cutting a lot of things out, like caffeine and busyness and political articles. And
yes.
so I've had tremendous growth in those areas, the things that cut things out.
Okay, but what are you adding in? What are you going towards?
Listening to audiobooks.
Here's an example. You and I sound very similar. So last year I did something I've never done before. Because every January has always been about restriction, what I'm cutting out.
Yeah.
Last year I made a change. I will go to 10 punk rock or metal shows and get in 10 mosh pits. That was the thing I put on my January last year. I will go to the comedy club 25 times in the year. That means once every other week.
Yeah.
Okay. I began putting in, because to do that meant I had to go to sleep earlier.
Yep.
That to do that meant I had to spend my money differently. To do that meant I had to exercise and be super intentional about it, and I had to be okay with 15 or 30 minute exercise sessions because I had this other thing that was a bigger priority last year. And two weird things happened. I put on more weight than I have in a long time, and I had maybe the best year I've had in ages. And so what I've had to address this year is the story that I told myself that life would be good at scale number X was maybe false. Because I got my blood work done, and my blood work's pretty good too. Do you get what I'm saying? So what I had to do is go address some of those. What are the cornerstone stories you've been telling yourself every January for the last 30 years?
That it won't feel good until I have done these things.
Yeah, except it's cognitively dissonant because you feel good. You like yourself.
I do.
You've done a lot of work. And so that's where I think the master stroke of Atomic Habits is the identity call out. Who do you want to be? And if it's, I'm a guy who doesn't fill in the blank, that's fine. And a couple of like virtue issues, value issues, fine, right? But if your list is just, I'm a person who doesn't, it's a scarcity way of living. So what's a thing you'd love to add into your life?
I want to spend more time with my siblings and their families.
Are they around you, or do you have to travel?
About an hour.
So what must be true for that?
Probably stop listening to as many podcasts and audiobooks to get out of the house.
Okay. Scott Galloway talks about this, that maybe the most important advice for 20 to 35-year-olds right now is get out of your home. Be at home as little as possible.
Do you know how cold it is here right now?
I know. It's negative everything. But life is happening outside of that screen, and life is happening outside of that house.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
I want you to build a life worth living, a life that you love, a life that you want to have. And that's family, and that's your faith practice, tethering into something bigger than you. That's your work. And that's a purpose. Like, why are you here? What do you want to do? And from that, like I think you've probably heard me talk about my conversation with my dear friend Sal DiStefano from Mind Pump Guys. Like, dude, if you go to the gym and work out because you think you're gross, if you go to the gym and think that you'll be happier at some number on a scale, you're going to quit every time. If you go exercise because you're worth exercising and because you feel good so you can go to the comedy club, so you can go see your family, so you can go to these other things, you'll do that forever. And you'll have weeks where you go an hour every day and you crush it. And you'll have weeks where you go 15 minutes and you just get it through because I got to go to the next thing. But that's a part of who you are because it's got it's serving a purpose. Do you get that switch?
Yeah, I think so. That's harder than you giving me a magic formula.
So much harder. Here's the magic formula, and this is the worst thing I can tell you, because you know this and you've done it every time. We only change what we measure. Our feelings are almost always wrong. Or I'll say that, they're not always, almost always wrong. They almost always don't give us the clearest and most correct information. And you have to have some sort of accountability. And you know those things, and they're really annoying. They're really annoying.
Yeah.
And if you want to change the nitty-gritty habit, Huberman has talked about some really important neuroscience that's come out in the last few years, which is like, actually it's been around for a while, but he's calling it to the forefront. If you do things that you especially don't want to do, you actually grow part of your brain that allows that same behavior to be easier to do next time. And so here's what that means. You just have to do stuff sometimes that you really, really don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And January John loves hearing that. February John does not like hearing that. And I also made peace. I quit hating February John. I just quit hating that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I quit being annoyed by him. I quit looking him in the mirror every morning and being like, you're gross, you're disgusting. And from that foundation, I have found it infinitely easier to hang on to habits that I want to hang on to. And be really hold loosely on the nights that I just go to bed. Or the mornings when I sleep in and wrestle with my son in the morning. Or get into a poking contest or a bickering contest with my daughter before school. We both go to work annoyed, and I could have just gone and worked out. like it is. I was stupid, and I'm on to the next day.
Yeah.
Will you put on the calendar? I will see one live music event every month this year. I'll see at a minimum of 12 live music events. And that means, I either have to go by myself or I have to do something even weirder and ask somebody at work or a friend to go with me.
Yeah. Yeah. My sister and I just decided that the one that's an hour away, that we're going to put on our calendar every other week to see each other.
I think that's...
Comes here, I go there, we meet halfway.
That's incredible. But here's what I want you to do. It's easy to put that date on the calendar and then get surprised by it every day before that date.
Mm-hmm.
What I want you to do is you put that date on the calendar, which is important. It's like you're training for a marathon, not because I got to train for a marathon, but I'm a person who runs. I run all the time. So I'm going to choose to be a little bit less healthy because running marathons come at a cost. I'm going to be a little less healthy so that I can accomplish this goal. You have an awesome new goal. I want to see my sister in person every other week. Because my identity is I'm a person who hangs out with my family. And instead of every Friday going, oh gosh, tomorrow I drive to whatever, I want you to begin to reverse engineer that Saturday all the way back to the previous Sunday. What must be true for this week? I'm going to need to do my laundry earlier this week. I'm a person who takes care of their body, so I'm going to need to get all 4 exercise sessions in before that day. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
And my guess is when you begin to reverse engineer and plan some of those things, amazing. And then if you only get 3 one week, okay, fine. You'll live. because I'm a person who's pretty compassionate to myself because I'm doing about as good as I can do right now.
I like that.
I have an incredible new partner that I'm going to hook you up with, okay? It's this amazing company called Trainwell, and it's a personal trainer on your phone in an app. And you can connect with them, and they give you workouts. And here's what's amazing. For the Thanksgiving holiday, when I was trying out to see if this was somebody I wanted to partner up with, I just said, hey, I'm going to be staying at a place in the woods, and so I'm only going to have a couple of dumbbells and a kettlebell and some exercise bands. Trainer, sweet. Here's your workout for the week. Boom. Next week, I'm back in my regular gym, but I only can do 3 days of heavy lifting this week because I got to do something else. Great, boom, done. So they work directly with you, and they give you feedback every day.
Oh, cool.
But it's on your phone, so there's nowhere to go. And they're going to text you. How was it? Yeah. Or they're going to give you a video chat. How was it? If I give that to you for 3 months for free, will you use it?
Yeah.
If you're not, that's okay.
No, I can do 3 months. I've done 3 months before giving up before.
All right, how about this? Do you want to wait until you're about to give up and then start?
No.
Okay.
No, I want to start when we get off the phone.
Excellent. All right, hang on the phone. I'm going to hook you up with my friends at Trainwell. Trainwell. It's awesome. It's probably the coolest innovation I've seen. And I'm a lifelong exerciser, but I've loved what they brought to my life. Even if sometimes I know my trainer Nate is going to text me like, "Where are you, man?" Ugh, I'm right here. Right? I don't want to. I don't feel like it, but my feelings don't get a vote all the time because my feelings are wrong a lot. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just feel like Cheetos, and that's usually a never good idea. But here,
accountability seems like it would help.
Well, it's annoying, but it's just necessary. All right. So, and here's the thing. Here's your magic wand roadmap. Okay. When you get off this call, take out a piece of notebook paper or a piece of printer paper or whatever. But I want you to write this down. If you've got a journal, you sound like you're a journaler, write this stuff in the journal. Number 1, write 5 things you're grateful for. Start with the words, I am grateful for. That's number 1. Number 2, I want you to write down 4 or 5 identity statements for 2025. I'm a person who. In 2025, I'm a person who. Under each one of those things, I want you to write 3 or 4 behaviors that you got to lock into. And just commit to yourself on those behaviors because I'm a person who. And the very bottom, actually not the very bottom, I want you then to go into your bathroom and look yourself in the mirror, and I want you to say 10 times, I love this girl. I want you to look yourself dead in the eyes. I love this girl. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
If you miss a workout, who cares? Doesn't matter. If you go see your sister and you haven't got your laundry done, and I'm a person who takes care of all my household stuff before I go out, all right, fine. Next week, I'm going to tweak my schedule so I can get that laundry done because I like coming home on Sundays after being with my sister and everything's ready to rock and roll for the Monday. And I'm going to go to concerts. I'm going to go to 12 concerts this year. I got to find the money for that. So I'm a person who's going to work some overtime because I'm a person who loves to go see live music more than I like sitting at home watching TV. I'm just going to begin to build it in. And for anyone who's trying to change identity habits, there is seasons of doing stuff that you don't want to do. That's a cornerstone of any sort of behavior change. I don't want to do it. It's uncomfortable. I'm going to choose my heart. I'm going to go do it anyway. There is a season of that. Actually, there's a long time of that. I don't want to, but I'm going to. You're on the right path, dude. It's awesome. It's an honor to talk to you.